Hello everybody, welcome back to the Stone Dogs 40k. Another board game review for you, this time reviewing Alien Fate of the Nostromo, which is a Ravensburger publication. This game was released in 2021. It's designed for up to 5 players. You can play it solo. Games are expected to last between 45 minutes and 1 hour. So let's take a look. So when you open the box, this is what you see. This is obviously Jonesy, synonymous with the Alien game, the cat that causes so much grief for Ripley and the rest of the crew of the Nostromo. This is on the back of the playing board, so it all folds out, similar to a lot of the modern boards, which are quartered, so they fold down into a smaller space. The board carries a map of the key locations of the spaceship. So you've got the bridge here, you've got Mother up in the corner there, the galley, hypersleep where they all wake up, the docking bay, the airlock, workshop, maintenance here, med bays in the middle, suit storage just here. This one is the garage. You've got equipment storage at the bottom. Did I mention maintenance? I'm not sure. And then this area down here, this is the alien nest. You've got a morale track over here, more about that in a moment. And then the contents of the box, you've got 5 cards with corresponding miniatures. So you've got Dallas with his crouching in the corridor waiting for the alien to bite him in the face pose. You've got Ripley. You've got Lambert. And then you've got Parker. And finally, you've got Brett. There is also a miniature to represent the alien, just there. And these are these soft moulded plastics, so you can see that it's quite bendy, quite soft plastic, but quite detailed. I think you can see. The pose isn't great, but there you go. Looks like an alien, so that's good. So I'll stick him in the nest. The box comes with encounter cards, final mission cards, objectives. There's a prompt card for each of the 5 characters. So if you're playing with 5 people, everyone gets one of these. And it just tells them about the turn and all the different details of the bits and pieces of the game, which is quite useful. These are tokens which you turn over if you land on a room, and it's either blank or there'll be an alien on the back. So there you go. So that's where you randomly encounter the alien throughout the ship. Scrap tokens, these are used for building things like grapple guns, electric prods, incinerators, motion trackers, flashlights, or not this one. This is a cat carrier. You've got to put Jonesy in something after all. And then these coolant canister tokens. These are a key part of the game, and these have to be used to fulfill mission objectives, etc. Then got a token for Ash. Why there isn't a plastic model for Ash, I'm not quite sure. He doesn't actually play an active part in terms of a character. However, you can use Ash to kind of liven up the game a little bit or make it more challenging. So there's extra rules for Ash that you can use. And then finally this one, this little standee, which is the morale tracker, which goes on the morale board just here, and you use this to count down your morale. And again, more on that in a little while. And then finally you've got this card here, which is the self-destruct sequence. You probably remember from the movie if you've seen it. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cylinders there, which some of the missions will use that to count down to destruction. So if that counts down, basically the ship blows up and everybody dies. And then finally, the rules. And again, this is just literally a paper booklet, 4 pages long. 8 pages long, I should say, but quite well laid out, pretty easy to read. A couple of things in here which confused me first time round, but I think I've nailed those down now, so we can kind of cover those off as we play through. Okay, so that's the contents of the box. Let's set up for a game and I'll talk you through it. So every game of Fate of the Nostromo starts with the same setup. So basically what you're instructed to do is follow this setup guide in the rulebook. So because I'm playing with, I'm only going to play with 3 characters. I'm playing with Dallas, Ripley and Lambert. I start the morale marker on, for 1 to 3 players, place a morale marker on 15 morale. So 15 is here, says there, it's quite straightforward. Crew 1 to 3, crew 4 to 5. Okay, so we're going to place the morale marker there. That's where we start with morale. We then have to place scrap tokens and concealed tokens and the sort of what are these? These are coolant canisters in certain rooms based on what it says in the guide. So we've got coolant canisters here, 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 and here, and then scrap tokens here, and here, and here. Once we've done that, we have to lay out the rest of the tokens just at the side of the board, which I've done over here. We've got all of the equipment, we've got the scrap tokens, we've got the concealed tokens. Ash, I'm not going to use this game. I'll explain how he works at the end. So I'm just going to pop him up there. And then we have to shuffle the objective cards and reveal 1 card for each player plus 1 additional card. Okay, now it's just me, I'm the only player, so we're going to reveal 1, dun dun dun, which is, what's the damage? Okay, all crew members in the workshop. So the workshop is there. To achieve that objective, we have to get all crew members to the workshop at one time. That will go just there. We then have to draw another one, and we've got bring a grapple gun to the garage. Okay, so grapple gun is this one. So one of the characters has got to bring a grapple gun to the garage. The garage is this space just here. So that can go over there. Once we've drawn those cards, we then have to draw a final mission card. Now the final mission cards are, there's 5 in total. However, 3 of them don't apply to single player play. Okay, so there's one called cut off every bulkhead and one called blow it out into space. So blow it out into space, we're not going to use this game. And cut off every bulkhead and every vent, that one, we're not going to use that this game either. So we put those to one side. The 3 that are left, we basically need to pick a random one of these. So I've already forgotten which one's which. We'll take that one, and we've got You Have My Sympathies. So we've got place all discarded coolant canisters into equipment storage. Place Ash at Mother. Okay. Now the thing is with this is actually supposed to be concealed until the end, so I shouldn't really have drawn that one. So I'm going to put that one away, and we'll draw another one. That actually stays concealed, and it goes just over there. And what happens is when we've achieved these 2, then we reveal that one. So that other one that we're not going to use can just go over to one side. Okay, so we don't need the objective cards anymore. We've drawn our objectives. So we've got our encounter deck. We're ready to go with that. We're not going to use Brett, and we're not going to use Parker, so I'm just going to push those out of the way. So we've got Dallas, Ripley, Lambert. A little bit more about these cards. Let's look at Dallas. So Dallas has 5 actions, as you can see by the top right there, and all of the cards have got 3 equipment spaces and 1 coolant canister space. They can only carry 1 coolant canister. Okay, and some of the missions will ask you to take 3 coolant canisters to the airlock, for example. Each character can only carry 1 at a time, so it's basically tactics. You have to tactically decide who's going to do what and when. Actions can be used, you can use all of your actions, or you can use none of your actions, depending on what you want to do. If you look at Ripley's card, let's just pull Ripley's card. Where is she? There she is. You can see on Ripley's card, Ripley has got a special ability. So Ripley can spend an action and move another crew member 1 space. So Ripley can, for example, stand still, but she can use her 4 actions to move another character 4 spaces. So you could potentially move Dallas, for example, 9 spaces if you wanted to, depending on what you wanted to achieve. Okay, so there's Ripley, and then Lambert we're using as well. Lambert's ability is spend an action, look at the top card of the encounter deck, and you may put it on the bottom of the deck. So that comes in handy just purely because there are some cards that can cause problems for the characters, and so if you draw a card, if Lambert draws a card, it can sometimes be advantageous to put that card at the bottom of the deck. We'll have a look at that if it comes up in game. So what else have we got? So we've got the encounter deck ready, we've got final mission, we've got our own 2 missions that we're playing. Initially the alien is in the nest. We are pretty much ready to go. So when you begin the game, all of your characters always start in the galley, which is just up here. And the idea is that you activate in turn, and then you will conduct your action phase and your encounter phase, and then it will move on. Play will move on to the next player or the next character. So on each player's turn or each character's turn, you get the action phase, in which you can perform a number of actions up to the limit on your card. And then the encounter phase, you draw 1 encounter card and complete the actions that are described there. So, moving, you can move as many spaces as you've got actions. You can move half of your actions and then use the rest of your actions to do something else. There are some things that are listed in the rules that class as actions. Let me just turn to that page. Where are we? So you can move, you can pick up or drop scrap tokens, you can use an item, the items that are listed here. You can do a special action, so one of the actions that's listed on the card, that counts as 1 action. You can craft something, which basically means you can use scrap tokens to build one of the accessory tokens, which cost a different value depending on what they are. And then you can trade, so you can trade with another player or crew member. Or you can, what was the other thing you can do? There's one more thing you can do. Oh yeah, of course it was move. Yeah, move is 1 action. So you can do these in any order as long as you don't exceed your actions total. So you can move 1, craft, pick up, drop, for example, provided you don't exceed your allowance. So let's begin. So play always goes in order of who's got the most actions. Now Dallas has 5. This is Dallas just here. Ripley has 4. And Lambert has 4. However, because Lambert is a lesser rank than Ripley, Ripley is a warrant officer and Lambert is a navigator, Ripley goes second and then Lambert goes third. So Dallas is going to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, and he is going to pick up 2 scrap tokens. When you pick up scrap tokens, you can pick up as many as you want to. That all counts as one action. Ripley is going to use all of her actions to bring Dallas back to the galley. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dallas then needs to draw an encounter card. Here we go. So the encounter cards are set out in a way which you will get used to reading. So basically you've got alien movement, morale movement, scrap tokens, and concealed tokens, and this tells you where to put those tokens. So first of all, movement. The alien needs to move 1 square. Always moves towards the closest character. If the alien moves into the same square as a character, then the morale tracker would move by 2 places. There are some things that affect that, such as flashlights, for example. Flashlights reduce the morale tracker movement by 1. You then got the workshop. You need to put 1 scrap token and 1 concealed token in there. So the workshop is over here. Now there's already 1 concealed token in there. So we're just going to put a scrap token in there. That card then goes face down to the side, and we'll shuffle those once the deck's been exhausted. That is the end of Dallas's turn. We're now into Ripley. So Ripley is going to move 1, 2, go down the ladder, 3, and pick up this canister for 4. The canister then goes on to the canister box on our card, and we then need to pick up an encounter card. So this is a stalk card, so the alien needs to move 3 spaces, and it needs to move towards the closest character. So 1, 2, 3 is going to put it in the same room as Ripley. Now when this happens, the immediate response of Ripley is to move 3 spaces away from the alien. Now when that happens, you've got to think strategically. So what Ripley is going to do is going to go 1, 2, 3 into the maintenance bay. 1, 2, 3. Now that that's happened, we look at the card and we can see that the morale tracker needs to move by 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. So this is what we've got until the end of the crew. So once that's happened, if we look at the card, it says use caution. While navigating an M-class star freighter, dark passengers can hide obstacles and hazards. So each card basically will have a different combination of move and morale, depending on what the card is called. Now, because Ripley has moved into a room that has a concealed token in it, we have to check what that is. And we're lucky that this one is a false alarm, so there's no issue with her being in that room. Once that's happened, her turn ends. So, who's next? Lambert is next. So Lambert is going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to go to Mother. And she's going to sit there because she can't do anything else. Encounter card dictates each crew loses 1 scrap. So the scrap tokens, when they're removed, go back into the pool. Ash isn't in this game. However, Ash would start in Medbay and then move according to the instructions on the card. That is the end of Lambert's turn. We're now back to Dallas. Dallas is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and pick up that canister. There we go. Now, if we just refer to our mission cards, we've got all crew members in workshop and bring a grapple gun to the garage. Okay, so the grapple gun is here and it's got a cost to it. So the cost of a grapple gun, in order to craft one, would be 3 scrap tokens. So we need to collate 3 of those with 1 character, and then they would need to spend an action to create the grapple gun. So that's our current aim. Now Dallas needs to draw a encounter card. He's got quiet. The alien moves 1. Closest character is Ripley, who is here. So the alien's going to move to there. We need to put 2 scrap tokens in the airlock. The airlock is there. And we also need to put a concealed token in the airlock. There we go. Dallas's move is done. Ripley is next. So Ripley is going to pick up the canister. Aha! Okay. So Ripley, on any of the characters, can only carry 1 canister, so she can't pick up that canister. What she's going to do is she's going to pick up the scrap tokens and then get the hell out of Dodge. So she's used 1 action already. 2, goes up the ladder. 3, 4. Okay. So it's now Lambert's turn. So Lambert is going to pick up that canister. I'll go on her card and she is going to move her other 3. 1, 2, 3. Just back to that position there. She's going to draw an encounter card. And it's another hunt card. So the alien's going to move 2. Which I would say you have to count which character is closest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so basically the character can choose which way the alien goes. So it's going to go 2 spaces, 1, 2 to there. There we go. That's Lambert's turn over. So back to Dallas. Dallas is currently in hypersleep, and we need to build a grapple gun for 3 scrap. See, he's currently got 1. So what he's going to do is, it's a bit of a risk, but he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, pick up that scrap. That's 5 actions. We then need to flip over the concealed token, and it's a false alarm, so that's good. And then draw an encounter card. Okay, so docking bay, 2 scrap and 1 concealed card. So docking bay is just up here, unfortunately just behind Dallas. Ripley next. So Ripley is going to dart into the med bay. 1 action. Pick up those scraps. 2 action. 3rd action is going to be to make a grapple gun. So we discard 3 scrap and we place the grapple gun on her card. Now the grapple guns are marked number 1 and number 2. That's because they have a limited number of uses. So grapple gun can go on there. So she's used 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to move her 4 back out to the corridor. Encounter card. Move the alien 1. So he's going to move up to the docking bay. And then we need to put 2 scrap tokens in hypersleep and 1 concealed token. Okay, so we need to get a grapple gun to the garage. The garage is down here. So basically Ripley has got to get from there to the garage. And then we've got to get Lambert, Ripley and Dallas into the workshop, which is down here. So first things first, let's move Lambert 1, 2, 3 down the ladder. 4. Draw a card. Right, the active crew member loses all scrap tokens. Shuffle all order 937 encounter cards back into the encounter deck. And if Ash is in the ship and no crew member is with him, move him 2 spaces. So we haven't got Ash in the ship, but we need to find all the Order 837 cards that we've used so far and shuffle them back into the remainder of the deck. So I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Okay, that is done. That's Lambert's turn over. We are now back to Dallas. Now Dallas is in a bit of a sticky situation here. He doesn't have to move, however, he's going to have to get out of there at some point. So what we need to do is we need to move him into the same space as the alien. Unfortunately, that will mean 2 things. Number 1, he can't pick up any scrap. Number 2, he's going to have to immediately move 3 spaces in the opposite direction. So when this happens, basically you move into the space of the alien. You lose 2 morale. And then you immediately move 3 spaces in another direction. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. That is the end of Dallas's turn, although he does need to draw an encounter card. And we have got return the alien to the nest. Place a concealed token in each room where no crew members or concealed tokens are present. So he goes back to the nest. And then we need to put concealed tokens in the rooms where there are no crew members. If there's one in there already, you don't need to put another one in there. I think that's it. Yeah. Okay, Ripley next. So Ripley needs to get her grapple gun to the garage. The garage is down here. Ripley is currently over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to move down to there. Draw an encounter card. Alien moves 3. Lose 3 morale. So Alien's going to move 1, 2, 3. We're going to lose 3 morale. 1, 2, 3. Ripley is going to move 3 in the opposite direction, which basically means we're going to achieve that mission. 1, 2, 3. So we get the grapple gun to the garage, so that one is now achieved. However, Ripley has gone into a room with a concealed token, so we need to resolve that. False alarm. We also then need to turn a card, and we've got another stalk card, and we lose 3 more morale. So we've got to move 1. Lambert has got to move 3. So bearing in mind everyone needs to get to the workshop, she's going to go that way. 1, 2, 3, and we also lose 3 morale. 1, 2, 3. Ripley has just, Lambert has just gone into a room with a concealed token. Dun dun dun! It's the alien. Oh no, it's not. You can see there. That's actually Jonesy. Jonesy the cat. So we lose another morale. We haven't got a cat carrier, so we can't capture Jonesy. So that token gets shuffled back into the concealed tokens deck, and that is the end of Lambert's turn. So back to Dallas. Look where we are on morale. This is the real challenge with this game, is to not cane through your morale too quickly. I've now got only 2 points left, basically, and I've still got to get all of my crew members to the workshop. So there is a way around it. Dallas is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, incinerators. He could build an incinerator with his 3 tokens. The thing with the incinerator, we look at the rules for it. If the alien is within 3 spaces of you, you can use an action to send it back to the nest. If you do, don't draw an encounter card this turn. There's actually scrap cost 4, he's only got 3. So we can't do that anyway. However, what we can do is 1, 2, 3, pick up scrap, 4, and then move down the ladder to 5. That's Dallas's turn. Ripley next. Oh no, Dallas has got to draw a card. Almost forgot. Okay, quiet. So 2 scrap tokens and 1 concealed token in equipment storage, which is actually where the alien is at the moment. So 2 and 1. What was the movement on that one? It was 1. So he's going to move to there. Okay, Ripley next. Ripley is going to, here we go, so use 1 action to pick up those 2. Use another action to build an incinerator. And then use her other 2 actions to move 1, 2. No, she's not. She's going to use 1 action to move to there. She's going to use her other action to use her incinerator and move the alien back to the hive. She has 2 uses. She now only has 1 use. So she's used it once. She's got 1 use left. Okay, Lambert next. Lambert literally just needs to 1, 2, move into that room. Conceal token. Oh no. Is that a 1? I think it's a 1. It is a 1. Oh dear. Right, okay. So alien moves to there. She has to move 1, 2, 3. And then we lose 1 morale. Okay, Dallas is up. Dallas is going to craft a incinerator. And then he's going to use an action to use the incinerator to send the alien back to the nest. And then he's going to use his remaining movement to move into the workshop. Doesn't need to draw an encounter card because of that incinerator rule. And then we've got Ripley. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw an encounter card. Suit storage 2 and 1. Move the alien 1. And then finally Lambert. 1, 2, 3. Draw an encounter card. We've got another quiet 2 and 1 in med bay. There's already an encounter card, sorry, a concealed card in there, so just 2 of those. Okay, so that means all crew members in workshop. That one is now achieved. Once that's been achieved, we go to our final mission. Escape on the Narcissus. Please place all discarded coolant canisters into equipment storage. Okay, so equipment storage is down here, so we need to move any canisters that are left back to there. Whoops, not the alien over. I think that's all of them, is it? 3, yes, because they've got one each. Okay. Drop 1 coolant canister in the docking bay for each crew member. Docking bay is, where is it? It's up there. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, sorry, I misread that. They don't need to do that. So basically, the characters have all got 1 coolant canister each. I misread the ticket. They basically have to drop 1 coolant canister each in the docking bay, and then they also have to have a cat carrier and incinerator in inventory. And then all crew members must assemble in the docking bay. So we've actually got 2 incinerators. We just need to make one of those last until the end of the game. Excuse my arm. And we also need to create a cat carrier, which is a scrap cost of 1. And then all meet in the docking bay, which is up here. So here we go. Dallas is going to use one of his scrap tokens to create a cat carrier. There we go. So that goes on his card. He is then going to move 2, 3, 4 and expose this, which is a false alarm. He's going to use his last action to send the alien back to the nest, and he doesn't have to draw an encounter card. Then it's Ripley. 1, 2, 3, and she's going to drop her canister. She draws an encounter card. Alien moves 2. Now, we've lost. So the alien moves 2. No, we haven't. No, we haven't. We're okay. No, we only lose morale if they come into contact with the alien, so we're all good. So the alien moves 2. 1, 2. And then finally Lambert is going to pick up that scrap token. She can't do anything with it particularly, but she's going to pick it up anyway. And then she's going to use the rest of her movement to go 1, 2, 3. Draw an encounter card. Oh no! The active crew member moves to the med bay. So she needs to move to there. There's a concealed token there. It's a false alarm. Back to Dallas. Dallas is going to drop his coolant canister. Unfortunately, he's used his incinerator twice. Excuse me. So that is now discarded. And he's not going to do anything else. He needs to draw an encounter card. So we get 1 movement for the alien. Alien's going to move to there. And then we get 2 scrap tokens and 1 concealed token in Mother, but there's already a concealed token in there. So there we go. And then Ripley. Ripley is going to use her final incinerator card to move the alien back to there. That's one action. She's then going to move 2 actions, 3 actions, pick up that scrap for 4 actions. Let's flip that over. False alarm. Draw an encounter card. Each crew loses 1 scrap. 1, 2, 3. That doesn't help. Okay, Lambert needs to pick up that scrap for 1, 2, 3, 4. Encounter card. Alien moves 1, 2 scrap, and 1 encounter in the galley. Back to Dallas. Right. So what we need to do is we need to get Lambert to drop her canister. We then need to create a incinerator again with 3 scrap. So we need 3 scrap. So Dallas is going to go 1, 2, 3. Pick up that scrap. Who's behind there? It's the alien. One, 2, 3. Okay, Ripley. Ripley has got 1 scrap, so she's going to go 1, 2. She's going to trade her scrap with Dallas. No, with Lambert, 3. And then she's going to use her grapple gun. Grapple gun, if the alien is within 3 spaces of you, move the alien up to 3 spaces in any direction. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, move the alien back over there. So the grapple gun now only has 1 use. Lambert's up, except she's not, because Ripley needs to draw a card. Move the alien 1, and then 3 scrap and a concealed in the garage. Garage is down here. 1, 2, 3 scrap and a conceal. Okay, so Lambert is going to create a incinerator. That's 1 action. She is then going to use the incinerator to send the alien back to the hive, which means she doesn't have to draw an encounter card. And that is the end of the game. So we have got... No, it's not. She's got 1 action left. She needs to drop her canister. There you go. She's going to drop her canister. That is the end of the game. So, 1 coolant canister in the docking bay for each crew member. Achieved. Crew must have a cat carrier and incinerator in inventory. Achieved. All crew members must assemble in the docking bay. Achieved. However, look how close that was. So basically, if we'd have lost 1 more morale, we would have lost that game. So, went right down to the wire. So that's the basics of the game. Obviously, tactics come in handy, or come into play when you are up against it and you need to do things in a certain order to achieve your objectives. The good thing about this game is that you can mix up the characters. So you've got 2 extra characters that you can use. We've already discussed. You've got Parker, Where's Parker? There's Parker. So Parker has a special ability where he can spend an action, add 1 scrap to your inventory from the scrap pile, use only once per turn. So basically he can pick up an extra scrap. So if he's got 2, he can pick up an extra 1 for nothing from the inventory, from the scrap pile, I should say, and then use another action to build a piece of equipment. So that's a really useful ability. And then you've got Brett. Good old Brett. Right, says Brett. And Brett has a special ability where he can reduce cost of any item that costs 2 or more scrap by 1 scrap. So instead of costing 3 to create an incinerator, it only costs 2. And he doesn't have to use an action to build anything as well. So he can use all 4 of his actions on something else, which is really useful again. So you can mix up the characters to kind of get the best out of each game. The other addition, which we didn't include this time round, is Ash. Now Ash will start every game in Medbay, and the idea with Ash is that he will make it more and more difficult for the players to achieve their objectives, because he will move towards the nearest scrap tokens, and if he lands on a square with a scrap token, he'll basically take all of the scrap and put it back in the scrap pile. If he encounters a crew member, he'll stop, and each crew member sharing a space with Ash must discard 1 scrap token or decrease morale by 1. So again, if Ash was playing and he'd been in a square with one of us, one of the characters, we would have lost. Crew members staying in the same place as that space as Ash can keep him under observation and prevent him from moving. The crew member doesn't then need to discard more scrap each turn. If you reveal the final mission, you have my sympathies. The rules for Ash change. So, you have my sympathies is this one. So all coolant canisters go into equipment storage, and then Ash goes to Mother. You have to defeat Ash by dealing 3 damage. So basically you have to discard a coolant canister to deal 1 damage to Ash. So you're basically that scene in the movie where I think it's Parker beats him over the head with a fire extinguisher to take him out of action when he's attacking Ripley. And otherwise, if that doesn't happen, then you lose 3 morale and flee 3 spaces when Ash is defeated and remove him from the ship. And then you have to use an incinerator on the alien after Ash has been defeated to win that mission. So Ash does have quite an impact on the game, depending on what mission you play and what objectives you draw as well. So that's a quick overview of the game. We didn't really talk about this thing up here, but basically the countdown tracker is involved in one of the missions, wherever it is. Cut off every bulkhead and every vent. So the active crew member takes a self-destruct tracker and places the 4 countdown tokens on it. So basically when you reveal this, whoever's turn it is has to take control of the self-destruct tracker, and at every turn they have to take one of the tokens, and at the point where they get to 4 tokens, that means the Nostromo and her crew are destroyed, and then the victory condition there is clear all concealed tokens on the Nostromo to win the game. So that's a real challenge again if you're really kind of hammered for morale. Clearing all those concealed tokens can be really difficult, because you don't know which ones of those are going to be aliens and which ones are going to be false alarms. So yeah, so that's the kind of the end of this review really. Hope you've enjoyed it. I am aware that I made a couple of errors in this game, so apologies for that, but hopefully this will give you a general guide and a general overview on kind of how it plays. It is a good game. I would recommend it, and again, you know, having played it solo, I would be looking forward to playing it with a group, just to see how it changes the gameplay. That's it. Take care and see you all soon.